Ever wonder why some experiences are just impossible to get over? Well, Dr. Bessel van der Kolk's groundbreaking work has an answer. He argues that it's because trauma isn't just a story we tell, it's something that gets physically imprinted on our brain and our body. So let's dive in and really unpack what that means.
This one idea, it changes everything. It completely flips the script. Suddenly, trauma isn't just a problem with your memory, it's a problem with your body. The event might be long over, but for the body, the physical and emotional reactions are happening right now, in the present.
So what does that phrase even mean, keeping the score? Well, to get it, we have to look deep inside the brain and see what's going on when we're faced with a threat that's just too much to handle. It's a fascinating story of survival, but a story that comes with a really steep price.
Okay, so when trauma hits, our rational, thinking brain, the part that makes sense of things, it pretty much gets shoved into the back seat. Our ancient primitive survival system grabs the steering wheel, and it's a powerful, automatic response that's designed for one thing and one thing only, to keep us alive.
The best way to think about this is to imagine the amygdala as your brain's own personal smoke detector. And here's the thing, it's not sophisticated at all. It can't tell the difference between you burning some toast and the whole house being on fire. It just screams danger and floods your entire body with stress hormones. Now, in trauma, that smoke detector gets stuck in the on position.
And this brings us right to the core of the problem. When a traumatic event is happening, the right side of your brain, the emotional, sensory, feeler side, is going completely haywire. At the exact same time, the left side, the logical storyteller that handles language, just shuts down. Specifically, a place called Broca's area, which is our speech center, goes offline. This is literally why trauma is so often unspeakable. The part of the brain that puts things into a coherent story simply isn't working.
So what does all that mean in the real world? It means your body never gets the memo that the danger is over. It stays braced for impact, constantly scanning for threats, basically trapped in a never-ending state of fight, flight, or freeze. And you have to understand, this isn't a memory you're having. It's a full-body experience that is happening right now.
Living with an alarm system that's just constantly blaring, you can imagine. It is absolutely exhausting. So to survive that internal chaos, the brain comes up with a really clever, but also really costly coping mechanism. It starts to shut things down, and that leads to this profound feeling of being disconnected.
This is something called dissociation. Think of it like the mind's emergency eject button. When reality is just too terrifying to handle, the mind checks out. It literally detaches from the body, from feelings, from the present moment. And this isn't a sign of weakness, not at all. It's an incredible, brilliant survival adaptation. But the cost of surviving that way is immense. The very circuits in our brain that are responsible for self-awareness just go dark. People will report not being able to feel parts of their own bodies. The world might seem dull or distant, almost like you're watching a movie of your own life instead of actually living it. You survive, sure, but you lose the feeling of being alive.
So, if trauma hijacks the body and disconnects us from ourselves, how on earth do we find our way back? This is where Dr. van der Kolk's work offers so much profound hope, because it looks beyond just traditional talk therapy.
And that right there brings us to the absolute heart of recovery. Healing isn't about trying to outthink the trauma. It's about learning how to live in your body again, how to calm its terror, and reestablish a sense of safety from the inside out.
So it just makes sense, right? If the problem isn't just in the rational thinking part of our brain, then the solution can't only be there either. Talking is incredibly helpful, but it often can't reach those nonverbal parts of the brain that are still stuck in that survival mode. To really heal, we need a toolkit that speaks the language of the body.
And what a toolkit it is. You've got things like EMDR, which helps the brain finally file away that traumatic memory properly, so it stops popping up in the present. There's yoga, which teaches you to notice and tolerate physical sensations again, using your breath to calm your nervous system. Neurofeedback is incredible. It's like physical therapy for your brain, training it to return to a state of calm, and even things like theater and group activities help restore that sense of social connection that trauma so often takes away.
So, what does this journey of healing actually look like? Well, it's definitely not a quick fix. It's more of a gradual process, a process of slowly reclaiming ownership over your own mind and your own body. The whole process is about developing what's called self-leadership. First, you have to calm that physiological storm so you can just feel safe in your own skin. Then you can start to acknowledge what happened, integrating the memories instead of being haunted by them.
From there, you slowly, carefully reconnect with the present moment until you can finally engage fully and joyfully with your life again.
Look, if there is one thing to remember from all of this, let it be this. Healing from trauma isn't about forgetting. It's about teaching your body, on a deep, fundamental level, that the danger has passed and that it is safe now. It's about updating that ancient alarm system to match your current reality.
Ultimately, the body keeps the score leaves us with this really powerful question. It suggests that true recovery, it comes from weaving our deepest wounds into the fabric of who we are, allowing us not just to survive our past, but to actually live fully and wholly in our present.